Hello, hello! Welcome to today's live English lesson here on the Speak English with Vanessa YouTube channel. I'm so glad that you're here to learn English, to improve, to participate, and to enjoy it. That's the goal. Today we're going to be talking about an important pronunciation point. And this is useful for your own pronunciation, but it's also useful for understanding other people, for understanding native speakers, for understanding movies and TV shows. So pronunciation overall is useful for your own speaking, but it's very important for communication. So today we're going to talk about the concept of reductions. Reductions comes from the word reduce. Reduce means to make something smaller or shorter, and that's what native speakers love to do. Whenever we speak, we're always making our words shorter and quicker, maybe lazier, an easier way of talking so that we can say more in a short amount of time. So that's what we're going to talk about today. If you're joining me live for this lesson, welcome. If you're watching the replay, excellent. You can benefit a lot from this. If you're new here, I'm Vanessa. Welcome. We have live English lessons here every Tuesday and Thursday at 9 a.m. EST. That's the New York time zone. I hope you can join me live. If not, you can watch the replay. Just click the subscribe button plus a little bell icon so that you can get a notification when the live lessons are starting. We have some members who are here with us live already. Hello, Tra from Vietnam. Wonderful. From Paraguay, Iran, Brazil, Cote d'Ivoire, Palestine, Turkey. Thanks so much for joining me. We have a wonderful international community, and that's the cool thing about language, about English, is that it combines us and connects us and unifies us. It doesn't matter our background or native language. We can all have a common passion, communicating in English. So today, we're going to get started with one of the most common reductions. Today, we're going to talk about three. The first two are more simple, and the third one is going to be something that we use more often in slang or in casual speech. So it's not something that you write, but it's something that we use when we speak a lot. So my first question for you is, today, after you watch this lesson, what are you going to do? I said that pretty quickly. Let me say that one more time. After this live lesson, after you watch this lesson, what are you going to do today? I said, what are you gonna do today? Gonna. Is there an English word that's gonna? No, this is our first reduction. So when you type, when you write your answer in the chat box, in the comments, you can use a shortened version. I'm going to write a version on my clipboard here so that you can see. But typically when you're writing something professional, you need to write the full 2 words. In this case, you need to write the full word. But for speaking, that's why it's a reduction. So my question is, what are you gonna do after this lesson? Now here we have our main word that we're talking about. Gonna. What do you think gonna means? What does gonna mean? It's gonna mean 2 words. And they're quite important. Gonna is going to. So you might notice this as a version of the future tense. When we talk about the future, you could say, will I will go swimming today. I am gonna go swimming today. So it's a way to talk about the future, but if you want to say it fast, like a native speaker, we always say gonna. Oh, I'm gonna go to the store. I'm gonna go to work. I'm gonna sleep because it's really late at night in my country. What are you gonna do? Junie here, who is live with me, says, I'm gonna write a resume. Suyoshi says, I'm gonna drink a glass of wine and go straight to bed. Beautiful. So here we're talking about things that are gonna happen, things that will happen in the future. I want to note that when we use gonna, when we use these reductions, what happened to this word? What happened to? Where did to go? A lot of my English students sometimes add to when they're practicing reductions for the first time. So I want to make sure you don't make this mistake. A lot of my English students might say, I'm gonna to go swimming. I'm gonna to drink a glass of wine. Oh, well, that's what this A is. The to has turned into this A. It has changed and become this A here. So we don't need to add to because it's already combined in this reduction. So make sure that when you're using a reduction, this to sound is gone. It's already combined, so you don't need to repeat it. Let me read a couple more of your wonderful sentences. What are you gonna do after this live lesson? I'm gonna go shopping. Reza says, I'm gonna read papers for my thesis. Ooh, lots of studying. I'm gonna go to the gym. Great, Tamar. I hope that it's useful for you. Amir says, I'm gonna replay this lesson again. Excellent idea. Take some notes, write some sentences down, repeat them out loud, repeat them with me. I'm gonna. What if we want to use this in a negative way? We're going to talk about each of these reductions in a positive and a negative way. How could we change an answer to be negative? Let me write a sample for myself. And if you want to write also a negative sentence, what are you not gonna do after this lesson? What are you not gonna do? For me, it's the morning, so I could say, I'm not gonna go back to sleep. I'm already awake, it's the morning, I'm probably gonna eat breakfast, I'm gonna take a walk, start my day. So for me, we can add this negative word, not. I'm not gonna right before gonna. I'm not gonna go back to sleep. It's 9 a.m. It's not really a good time to go back to sleep. Maybe 9 p.m. would be a good time. Great, thank you so much for all of your wonderful sentences. We said, Misaki says, I'm not gonna have dinner. Oh, maybe for you, dinner is finished. Or maybe you're not hungry. I'm not gonna play a video game. Thank you, Buck. Interesting sentence. I'm not gonna watch TV. Maybe you're gonna do something else like study English. Not gonna. Make sure we're using that negative version right in front of this. So as I mentioned before, just a quick little review. Don't write G-O-N-N-A. Don't write gonna in your professional emails. This is only for conversation or when you're writing with your friends or when you're writing with a family member. Whenever I write an email to a family member or someone I know, it's not a big deal to use gonna, G-O-N-N-A, instead of going to, because this is the proper way to use it, but this is going to be our casual way. So make sure that you use this in conversations. Business conversations, no problem. You can use this in any conversation. Business conversations with friends, with your grandma, with your cat, with anyone. But we don't write this in business situations. So it's pretty flexible except for writing. You need to make sure that you write the full version if you're writing something professional. Let's go to the second reduction. The second reduction, I have a question for you, another question. Tell me, where do you want to visit in the world? Let's imagine someone gives you $100,000 and you can visit any country. Where do you want to visit? Maybe you could visit that country, especially with that large amount of money. Maybe you could visit that country for a month, or you could go to really amazing restaurants every day. But where do you want to visit in the world? For me, that's a really difficult question because my list is really long and it's always growing. But the good news is nowadays it's pretty convenient to travel. We just need some extra money and some free time to be able to go around the world. So I'm going to write my question here. Where do you wanna go in the world? Whew. You have a lot of choices. There's a lot of amazing places. Here is our key reduction. What do you think that this reduction means? Wanna. We've got a lot of great sentences here. Ola says, I want to go to the US. Songbo says, I want to visit Hawaii. Khan says, I want to visit Vanessa. Well, my city is quite nice. It's not exactly New York, but it's real America. Mao says, I want to visit Korea. Oh, a lot of people say Hawaii. Interesting. Hector says, I want to visit Mars. Yes, do it. I'm really curious what Mars is like. At least you can visit outer space. I think it would be amazing to see the Earth from space, which means you don't have to go too far away. You still have to get in a rocket and experience strange sensations, but that would be amazing. I think I want to see Earth from space. Maybe that's my answer here because there's too many countries on my list. So who knows? What is wanna? What does wanna mean? Wanna stands for two words. Just like gonna, we've combined want to. Want to. So what happened to to? Where is to in this reduction? Well, same as gonna, it has become this sound at the end, this schwa sound. So we don't need to add to. No, don't add to afterwards because we already have to. So a lot of you are already writing beautiful sentences using wanna correctly. Make sure we don't have to, and just like gonna, we're gonna use this in every kind of conversation and in more casual writing, not professional writing. But you can use this spoken at work. You can use this in your presentations, but don't write this at work. I recommend writing want to when you're writing more professional style emails or presentations. Let's take a look at some of your wonderful want to, wanna sentences. I want to visit Canada again. Great. I want to learn how to write correctly. Oh, beautiful. I want to visit your hometown. Oh, well, it's a lovely place. I hope that you get a chance to do it someday. Wanna, something that you wanna do. Wanna. And if you've noticed so far, we always have a verb afterwards. It was the same with gonna. Gonna plus a verb. And this is going to be typical. We're always going to have a verb afterwards. Let's take a look at the third reduction. Now, the third reduction is going to be a little bit different. Gonna be, if you notice, I use these reductions all the time. Gonna, wanna, and the third reduction, can you guess what we're going to talk about today? The third one is a little more casual. So for this one, we've got a couple different options. I want to ask you a question, and I want to see how you answer it. I'll give you a little hint too. My question is, what do you have to do to improve your English skills? What do you have to do to improve your English skills? There are two reductions that we can talk about for this question. The first one is a little more clear and straightforward because I already used that word in this question. I already used have to. Have to. So you could say something like, oh, I have to practice every day. This is our first reduction, and it's the most clear because it's pretty much the same thing that we talked about before. We have a and to. But I really want to focus on a second reduction that has a similar meaning, but it's not in this question. Typically, this second reduction that I want to talk about here is used in statements. We don't often use it in a question. Can any of you guess what we're going to talk about for the second reduction that has a similar meaning, but it's more casual, something that we use in statements? I'll give you a hint. It starts with a G. It starts with a G. What do you think? Well, let me write a sample sentence and see if you can guess what this means, what this stands for. I gotta practice every day. Oh, what do you think that this reduction means? It actually stands for 3 words. So previously we talked about reductions that have 2 words. Going to, want to, have to. But this one means the same thing as have to. It's a necessity. I have to practice every day. I need to practice every day. But with this reduction, it's actually 3 words that we're combining. Can anyone guess? A lot of you said got to. Khan has the correct answer. Khan says have got to. Oh, lovely guess. So here we have got to. Where is have? Because this follows a similar pattern as the other reductions. Got to becomes the A, and then we've got. Pretty clear compared to the other ones, but what about have? What happened to have? Well, as I mentioned, when native speakers are talking quickly, we often like to cut out things, throw them away, reduce them, speak quickly, and that's exactly what's happening. So, in this situation, have is gone. Is this possible? Can we actually cut out important verbs? Well, yeah, we can. In this situation, it's understood. It's understood, and the word understood means that it's implied or understood. And this is a challenging concept in English because it means that in the sentence, you're not going to hear and you're not going to see each word. One word or some words are completely cut out of the sentence, but native speakers already understand that it should be in that sentence. So they already understand that it needs to be there. But when we speak, or in some situations when you write, it's cut out. So here is the perfect example of implied, something that's implied, because I could say, I have got to practice every day, or I've got to practice every day. You can say that, no problem. We can add I've got to practice every day. This is great, but you're going to hear a lot of native speakers cut that out. I gotta practice. I gotta practice every day. So for you, if you feel comfortable saying, today, I gotta pick up my sister from school, and then I gotta go to the grocery store, and then I gotta think about what to eat for dinner and prepare for my family. If you feel comfortable using gotta by itself, excellent. Go ahead. It just is the same as have to, but it's really strong. So if you feel comfortable using this, excellent. If you're uncertain, I recommend listening and watching to a lot of material that is from native speakers, because you're going to hear them use this all the time. Native speakers use, I gotta go. It means I have to go. I have got to go. I need to go. I need to leave. See you later, everyone. So this is really common, and the more that you hear it, the more you're going to feel comfortable understanding it. So the first step is to understand it when native speakers use it. Second step is to use it yourself, and that's what you're doing. Let's take a look at some of your sentences. What do you have to do to improve your English? Haibo says, I gotta practice English. Jenny says, I gotta prepare my presentation in English. Oh, Marcelo says, I gotta practice English with Vanessa. I hope it's useful for you. Gabriela says, I'm gonna see an old friend and I wanna buy him a gift, so I gotta find something pretty special, or I have to find something pretty special. Beautiful sentence using all of these reductions. Lovely, lovely. So make sure that when you use gotta, it's the same as have to. I have to do something. It's a necessity. Something, maybe it's not so fun all the time, but it's important for your life. It's a necessity. All right, let's take a look at a final sentence that we can say all together. If you are still watching this live or in the replay, congratulations. I hope that you've learned a lot. Let's combine our knowledge and use these 3 reductions to make a wonderful sentence to say all together and practice pronunciation, practice memory and repetition. And I'm going to say the sentence, and I want you to write it down, or write it in your notebook, or just say it out loud. We're going to practice this together. So it's kind of a mini listening practice. Try to hear exactly what I'm saying. Are you ready? Let's say this English sentence together. What should we say? How about, oh, I got a good one. I got a good one. I gotta. Got a good one. We could say, I wanna improve my English, so I'm gonna study, and I gotta do it now. Can you write this full sentence? I wanna improve my English, so I gotta study, and I'm gonna do it now. I wanna improve my English, so I gotta study every day, and I'm gonna do it now. Great. Maybe earlier I switched those. It's okay. I wanna improve my English, so I'm gonna study, and I gotta do it now. Beautiful. Let's say this slowly. Prepare our pronunciation, prepare your mouth muscles, And I hope that this quick repetition will help you to say it correctly and also start to feel more comfortable. All right, let's say, I wanna improve my English. So I gotta study and I'm gonna do it now. Let's say it quickly. I wanna improve my English, so I've gotta study and I'm gonna do it now. We could I've gotta study, or we can cut it out. I want to improve my English, so I gotta study, and I'm gonna do it now. In fact, you are doing it now because you're watching this lesson and participating. All around the world, if you are in Vietnam, Brazil, Egypt, Russia, France, Chile, wherever you are, I hope that you're saying this sentence out loud with me. I want to improve my English, so I'm gonna study and I gotta do it now. Repeat this and enjoy this concept because native speakers use it all the time. Thanks so much for learning with me today. And if you enjoyed this live lesson, feel free to come again for the next live lesson, which will be Tuesday and Thursday at 9 a.m. Eastern Time. That's the New York time zone. I hope you can come again. Next time will be on Tuesday. We'll be talking about another important concept that I hope you can learn a lot from. And if you want to continue learning with me right now and expand your English knowledge, if you want to improve, you're going to do it. I know you can. And I recommend reading my free ebook called 5 Steps to Becoming a Confident English Speaker. This free ebook has helped thousands of English learners to know the next step because there's a lot of places, a lot of paths you can take to improve your English, but that can be kind of overwhelming. It's great to have choices, but sometimes too many choices is overwhelming. Wow, that's a really loud motorcycle. I hope it wasn't too loud for you. So if you would like to continue to learn English with me, I recommend reading my free ebook. I'll put a link in the description and here on the screen at the end of the lesson. You'll be able to read the free ebook and you'll get free email lessons from me each week to help you expand your English knowledge. You're gonna improve. You gotta do it. I hope you wanna do it. Let's learn together. Thanks so much for joining me and I'll see you the next time. Bye everyone. Talk to you later.